Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of Diablo 3. We're up to Garrigan at level 183 and we are just carrying on pushing up our legendary gems. We've got to get them up to rank 35 as part of the season journey. And well, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that we need to be a little bit more powerful before we can really push on and do anything. I took a little bit of time off camera and I've just, if I zoom in, re-styled our persons so they look like a bit of a vicious space marine, for want of a better way of putting it. It's not quite a thunderhammer on this side, it's flaming, but the shield looks pretty good as well. So, you know, it's important to look the part. And since we're not going to be changing our equipment out very often, I figured now was as good a time as any to do that. So we need to get a Greater Rift Keystone. We will charge on in to the first rift we find and see if we can't get some murder on. No thanks, mate. Don't want you charging me. Now, of course, the more death threats we get, the more chance we have to upgrade things. We still need Unity, we still need Core of the Sherma. There's a whole bunch of things that we could do with. Gear Falcon's Foot is obviously our primary goal in terms of equipment that will be useful to us. But I'll take anything at this point. At least anything that fits within our build. Alright, so that's the thing that happened. Knocked back in the extreme. We do, of course, have a little fire trail behind us. Thanks to the boots that we're wearing, which we picked up last episode. So we are leaving a tiny trail of damage everywhere we go. It is very much a small trail, though. It's not something that we should rely on. But you can see it's doing a reasonable amount of damage just running around and letting things die by being near us. Throw on the steed charge and you've got double fire damage on the ground. I'm pretty certain that those stack. I think they count as independent damage sources. All in all, it is a nice, casual and chill start to the weekend. Hope you're all having a good time wherever you are, and at least getting a little bit of a chance to play. We've been really unlucky with the weather here in London recently. I mean, I know people joke that England is always raining and always miserable, but it has been absolutely bucketing it down. Very little incentive to go outside anyway. I love it when it ticks around onto fire. That Convention of Elements buff just absolutely rocketing our damage numbers. Get some burning on these guys. Yeah, look, it almost killed him. Not quite. I mean, it does more damage than Cormac does. That's the important thing. Ooh, cool. Pool of Reflection. I will always take more experience. Get in for the conduit. Try not to die on all the poison damage going off everywhere. And while we have this conduit, we'll try and race on and find something else to electrocute with it. Oh, cool. A lovely, happy, cutesy area full of unicorns and teddy bears and deathly murder. Seems like there's quite high monster density, or elite density I should say, in here, which I always like. I mean, they all glow a little bit, so it's kind of hard to tell them apart. But we've seen a few already since arriving. Slightly painful. Getting gored by unicorn horns is not high on my list of things to do today. Let's open up that dead adventurer. I mean, it's always worth opening chests and things nearby, because you never know what's going to actually hold the item that you're looking for. Plus diamonds and other things we're going to need to be upgrading in order to improve our survivability long term. It's all extra resources for the big grind. Strange to think that at the moment we're running at Torment 9 and we're eventually going to be powerful enough to run GR70 rifts without even really worrying too much about things. I'm always amazed by how the characters can grow so much in power when everything feels like it's a logarithmic power progression. You know, just like entire order of magnitudes more powerful. Dislike knockback. Let's go grab those bits. Get a little bit more wrath back. I'm sticking to this area because we do have quite a few elites in here. Stand back out of the explosion. And get the murder on. Topaz, sure, why not? Perfect timing for that. That was a little bit dangerous. Shouldn't have run into the middle of them. Without the illusory boots, there's no way of me actually getting out of a situation like that if we've just used our steed charge up. But you guys know me, I tend to play a little bit fast and loose, which is not always the most sensible thing. There's a power pylon just down there. Let's grab that, actually. We'll go full ham. Not just half ham, full ham. So every buff we can muster, and a Frenzied Shrine as well. And that would be the perfect time for us to see the Rift Guardian. But I don't think there's quite going to be enough things for us to kill nearby. Right, well, we can at least work on bringing our Wrath back up, so that when we do find them, we have a full complement ready to go. He says immediately spending it all on annoying little minion things. Right. Okay, not too annoying. We're about to tick onto fire, so activate everything and smack, smack, smack. All gone. I like how he dodged that last one. That last one, he totally just teleported past. Right, we'll head back to town, hand this in, and we'll see what's coming on next. Oh no, we did get something to ID. So let's have a look at what we have. It is the Hexing Pants of Mr. Yan. Resource generation damage is increased by 25% while moving and decreased by 21% while standing still. Given we stand still to actually throw our shield, that's not very useful for us. It's probably the one set of trousers that just doesn't work with us at all. I'm not going to salvage them up. They'll eventually go in the cube. Oh yeah, we're starting to put things up on this one, aren't we? Right, we've got 2 levels to put in, and then we'll hop into a Greater Rift. Keep it at the current level. Only 30 30 Greater Rift levels to go before we get our first primal. Channeling Pylon, yeah, that's basically like easy mode for us now. So I'm gonna try and just keep pummeling down while looking for the elites. It's not going to last forever, so the more progress we can make, the better it'll be. There's some. Just getting everything activated. And just like that, it's gone. They always go so quickly. Still, it's a very good start to a rift. Very good. And really, that's what things will end up being like permanently once we get Gear Falcons. But that's why I want to get it. It's just going to make such a difference to how quickly we can move through these rifts. In fact, at that point, I think channeling pylons will actually become pointless for us. Reduced cooldown on Akarat's champion, sure, but it's not actually going to be that much of a huge difference compared to just the general killing that we'll be having. Getting so much experience. I love running at this level. It was definitely the right move to move up while we were slightly underpowered. Ooh, he says, then like running away in slight panic. Trey nasty. Trey nasty. Right. You are gone. You are a wrath source. Another elite pack, perfect. Killed him before we got Convention of Elements round, but that's alright. It's not exactly wasted if the monster's dead. So we're up to 73%. And of course, once we've got Gear Falcons, but we can finally get Taunt on our bar rather than needing to use Punish. Give us a little bit more utility, keep things moving how we want them to. Oh, is there another? Yeah. No thank you on the explosion. I had one earlier. It didn't agree with me. And of course the conduit augmenting things. Let's push on while we've still got it. Although, oh, yeah, this is the point where I want a little bit more mobility. We've still got more movement speed that we can pack onto this character. Damn wallers. Okay, run through all that. Get the flamey goodness going underneath them all. Bang, bang, bang. Job done. Boots, ring, amulet, gem of toxin, and a shield. Well, the ring could be Unity if we get lucky. Ooh, actually, that was 90%. I should have paid attention to that. We'll still push it up anyway. We'll get it to 35 and then we'll focus on the other ones. He says, not getting very lucky with the general rolls. That looks like another Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac. Temporarily put these in. I'm going to need to do this again in a moment when we hand it into Aurek. Okay, so the Charo, yeah, whatever. Ice Climbers, that's kind of cool, but not what we need. We need the Illusory Boots. It is another Obsidian Ring. And the S of Johan. That is going on Cormac to group things together quite nicely. Alright, we've got another few levels to assign there. Let's salvage up what we don't want to hold on to. And we'll put the rest away for the moment. So Ice Climbers are new. This is new. Obsidian Ring can go. And Dovu Energy Trap can stick in the stash as well. We need rings from Kadala. I literally just got rid of one of these. I mean, it's all extra materials, which is great. But you know, it'd be nice to have a little bit of variety coming in. So, Gem of Toxin across. In fact, let's move these down. You've got to have it nice and tidy. And these across as well. Right, do we have another Greater Rift Keystone? We do. Cool. We can just jump straight in to another Greater Rift then. Can't empower it though. We are out of money. This is what I mean by alpha striking. You know, you activate everything you've got and you just go in and muller a whole bunch of them. And with 10 bounces, because of Jacking Board, it can really like hammer through all the different mobs. Get some fire under you, mate. Alright, let's get some of our wrath back. And what is that? It's a conduit. Brilliant. Occasionally launching shields out. Oh, will you look at that? That is so different to the first rift that we went in. I love conduit pylons. Sometimes they really like stomp through everything. Sometimes they don't do that much, but when they work for you, they really work for you. Get some fire under these guys. Some of my wrath back. I generally just like it when there's a lot of ranged mobs. I don't mind fighting stuff up close, but ranged ones can put us in a spot of jeopardy now and then. taking advantage of the steed to get us to the next group before Akarat's champion runs out. Ooh, yeah. Lots of elites in this area. At least so far. We'll see if that that carries on. %3% through. Take a breather while we get some of our resources back. And back on with Akarat's champion. Yeah, I think we killed all the elites right at the start. That's what it's currently feeling like. Yeah, none of them are hiding in any corners. Let's just push on to the next bit while we've still got this power pylon. Yeah, there's one down here. Pop! Ooh, temporarily step out of that. That's a lot of lightning going on. 99%. Very nearly Rift Guardian time. And there we go. Killed whoever it was with fire. Once again, convention of elements just ticked around. 2 swings of the shield. Chest armor, pants, ring, Templar relic. Oh, this could keep Cormac alive. Right. 1 point in here. That's our first 35. After this, we'll go for Pain Enhancer. I think that's going to provide us more utility as we're going up through the levels. And we'll head back, hand this in, ID our stuff, and then we've probably got time for one more regular rift. So while we're IDing that, let's put these points in over here. Okay. Enchanting Favor, your follower cannot die. This is perfect. This is exactly the one that we need for Cormac. We want to re-roll the life per hit on it into something else. Not with Shen. Not with Shen. What am I doing going to Shen? Right. So, life per hit. If we can re-roll that into... In fact, Vitality and Armor are also pointless. 16% chance to block. Great. It's got a decent critical hit damage thing. It's got reasonable strength. Can we re-roll the strength up a bit more? We might be able to. It's probably not worth us spending the resources on him. At least not at this stage. So that is amazing. So he can't die, so that's one part of our Unity Cormac combination. It does mean that we can re-roll life per hit off everything else that he's wearing, or Vitality and other rings and things. Yeah, that Nagel ring is such a low level one. We also want to get him a decent weapon and shield, but all of that's going to be after we finish spending resources on ourselves. Poxfolds, interesting. Poxfolds could actually be a reasonable thing for us if it had a socket. I'd like 2 sockets, really. You know, I'm not going to spend any more Death's Breaths on it for the moment. So if we put a diamond in this and switch it over, that'll be a little bit of extra passive damage that we're we're doing for very, very little change in our actual get-up. I am going to need to make it look like the Conqueror's leggings, though, so it fits with the rest of our decor. And in terms of the dye, we had this one being the Abyssal dye. Sure. Looking good, looking good. Yeah, so now if we get near too many mobs, we're going to fart and do extra damage, which is going to help us if we get trapped. I mean, that's the main reason for it. So, salvaging these bits up. Teriel's Might goes, Oculus goes, Demon's Plate. It served us well, but that goes as well. Okay, time for one last regular rift. So it's not been a complete loss today. Getting that for Cormac to be able to stay alive. I love that we just ran into a group and farted at them. That's brilliant. Yeah, starting off on collecting stuff for Cormac. While it's not directly helping us, it is going to help us in the long run. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Totally just farted on them again. It's not a huge amount of damage, of course, but every little bit will be helping. And when we're done with this, we'll try and remember to actually make a Gear Falcon's Foot. That's a lot of damage that was coming in there. Right, you need to die because your mortars are really starting to tick me off. That's just me not really managing my resources great. We had to drink a healing potion in there, but we have to do that quite often anyway. It is a little bit of extra damage for everything. So the Poxfolds, definitely worth having because we don't have anything better in slot. And in fact, we don't really know what we're going to put in the slot in the long term. So they might end up staying for a bit. They might. Not one I would want to like specifically rely on though. We rolled a socket onto it so that it wasn't actually just disadvantaging us, changing off the Demon's Plate. Yeah, so I can kill chaff by just running around a little bit. And that's always fun. It's important to test these things as well. But that in itself took too long for it to be a practical get out of trouble plan. And of course, some of that will be down to the fire that we're putting down with the firewalkers. $197 on the Garrigan levels. We are pretty damn close to 200, at which point we're going to obviously switch what it is we're putting the points into. Ooh, Crusader shield. That's another Jeckenborg. Right, well, I'll definitely grab that. Ah, hello, you. Channeling Pylon, just gonna let us really stomped through a whole bunch of stuff. Let's grab even more. Keep that movement up. Channeling Pylon already gone. It was nice while it lasted. I mean, they always are. Let's grab all of that. And loose stone, sure. Almost ready for... Ow! That was quite painful. Too much lightning in too short a space of time. It's alright. I mean, you could call it resource management. I call it just like, if our health gets too low, we run away. Cormac's S of Johan bringing everything together like that is actually surprisingly useful. I mean, you always want things to be clustered when you're doing area damage. But because Jack and Ball bounces so many times, it is going to be very beneficial to us. And quite often I plan what I'm going to do for myself, but I don't actually plan what I'm going to do for Cormac or whichever other character it is that we've got going along. I think once I've tried to turn him into a block freeze machine, but it takes such a long time to get all the resources that it doesn't always feel worth the time investment when you've normally got your own stuff that you need to be focusing on as well. Ah, damn those walls. Right. Salius is gone. We've got 2 Great Rift Keystones for next time. And yeah, man prodder thing. Okay, let's hand this in. And do I have a one-handed flail on me? I do. Okay, let's try and make Gear Falcon's Foot. Upgrade rare item.
Access to a wondrous artifact of old, and that's what you want to do.
Yes.
Very well.
Next episode is going to be so much fun. So it's not a brilliant one. I will say that right now. It's got reduced all resource costs by 9%. That's actually useless to us now. It's got a reasonably low roll on the Blessed Shield, and it's not ancient, but it is Gear Falcon's Foot. So really, we're not going to lose 30.9% damage. That's just not accurate. We're going to lose a third of our damage and then multiply our damage by 3 times. So we're going to end up with about 4 times the damage that we would have. Right, I want to put a socket in this, so we're going to do that now. I'm stonkingly happy over this. I'm not going to use the Ramalama Ding Dong. We're going to save that. But for the moment, I may as well just re-roll this resource costs off it. Hell, I'll take 7% damage at the moment over that. Sockets 1. There we go. And for the moment, we'll just put this in here. Ah, yeah. Right, let's put these levels in just while we identify the Jekken board. And I think this is going to be a good point for us to finish this episode off. Actually, that's not terrible. I think we'll re-roll that armor. Or re-roll Heaven's Fury, actually. Yeah, so if you are enjoying these videos, be sure to give a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, you should do so, and you'll be told when the next episode goes live. Otherwise, I'll see you next time for another episode of Diablo 3. See you soon!